So let's kind of talk a little bit about reference angles here. This is part 2 of the unit circle, I guess you might say. And we're on page, at least in 2025, we're on page 3 of the Trig 2 packet. We'll see if I keep that consistent for the next 10 years, but we're on page 3 of Trig 2, 2025. 2025-26 school year. Great group this year. Okay, so we're going to use the reference angles to figure out the trig value. So let's just kind of do this. This is technically before you learn the unit circle, but we get the general idea. So I'm just going to draw a sine of 120. I feel like we're getting pretty comfortable with that. This is 90, this is another 30, and this is 120. And I'm going to make sure that my triangle touches the x-axis. If this is, and I'm sorry about this, but if this here is 60 degrees, then what is this? This is root 3, this is 1, and this is 2. So all we need to do is find sine of it. And this isn't all students take calculus, right? All students take calculus. So sine actually will be positive. So it's going to be a positive value. This actually would have been a negative, by the way, right? If you want to be really technical, because we went left. But sine is root 3 over 2. That's the answer. That's what sine of 120 is. If you type sine of 120 into your calculator, you will get a decimal equivalent to that. Promise. Which doesn't fit in a circle, by the way. In a triangle. You can't draw a right triangle with 120. But we have gone beyond that. We are way beyond that now. Okay, secant of 225. Let's draw it first. So 180, and I need another 45, so I'm down here now. 180 and 45. So I'm here. That makes this 1, 1, root 2. Technically, negative 1, right? So I don't really love secant of 225. I want to find cosine of 225 and then flip it. It's up to you. You can do it however you want. But I'm going to find cosine of 225, which is my adjacent over hypotenuse, which is negative 1 over root 2. Now I'm going to flip it because I can take cosine and flip it to get secant. And that's going to actually be negative root 2. And that's our answer. That's it. We're doing it. We're doing trigonometry outside of right triangles that you could not possibly draw a triangle for. But you draw a triangle in a different quadrant, it works, based on the unit circle definition. So now we have a tangent of 11 pi over 6. So we'll draw it in. Maybe you should take a second and try to draw it in. Try to do it. So go ahead. Pause the video. Give this problem a try. I'll pause as well. Okay, so we hopefully paused and tried this. So I'm going to go 11, 6. So I need 6 on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've made 6 basically dots on the top. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's why we drew it here. Because of that, that makes this a 30, 60, 90. This is 30. That makes this 1, 2, and root 3. I just know them. Then the 1 has to be negative because we went down. The 3 is actually positive based on what I'm looking at. So I'm seeing root 3. I'm seeing negative 1. I'm seeing 2. It's actually not on a unit circle, but it comes from a unit circle. All this work only works because we defined it on a unit circle. So the tangent of that is going to be negative 1 over root 3. We'll rationalize by multiplying by that radical, and we'll get root 3 over 3. And it's a negative because it's in this quadrant, right? All students take calculus. It's in the calculus quadrant. Because we're in this quadrant, right? We're here. Only cosine can be positive, so tangent must be negative. Okay? So I would encourage you to pause and try this one. We can actually go negative angles, but I'm going to go on in the interest of time because I want to cover everything and I don't want to rush. So these are called quadrantal angles. It's not the most important term. I forget it every year and then I remember it. But it basically means it's on an axis. So if I say you got to know the quadrantals, at least you know what I'm saying. It's on an axis. It's hitting on the x or the y. So this is 0 degrees, right? We're just flat on the axis. This is 90 degrees. We're up here. This is 180. Where do we start every single time? We always start on the positive part of the x-axis. So these are the quadrantals. If they hit on the x or the y-axis, they're quadrantals. Okay? I'm going to turn the page. It's just a definition. That's all it is. Okay, so this is how they decided to teach the unit circle, but hopefully you watched the video prior to this and you already kind of learned it, okay? So here is the unit circle. And we're just going to kind of talk about if you could fill this in, if you could call this y and this x, could you fill all of these in for us? Why don't you try to fill all those in for us based on the triangle on the left, okay? So you're looking at the triangle on the left, and you're trying to fill in all of those things. So go ahead and try that. I'm going to see that I have, whoops, sorry about that. I'm going to see that I have all the correct information for you in 1 second. Yes, perfect. So again, I'm just recapping what we've talked about. That means that the coordinate of p can be written as something, okay? So I'm going to fill this in. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, y over 1, which is y, so I care about that. Cosine is x over 1, adjacent over hypotenuse, which is x. Okay. I guess that makes cosecant 1 over y. And secant 1 over x. I don't usually think of it that way. I just find one and flip it. But, whatever you want. Tangent's going to be opposite over adjacent, so that's going to be y over x. And there's not really a better way to do that, but if we flip it, it's x over y. But what's most important, what two are the most important, are this one right here and this one right here, because that means that this point can be written as cosine of theta, comma, sine of theta. Shouldn't be new, should be like the third or fourth time you're hearing that. And the cosine comes first, which is kind of weird. Now, you can see why I took my time showing you the unit circle. Imagine if this was day 1 of the unit circle and I was like, here you go, have fun. I mean, that's a lot, okay? So basically, the unit circle is usually used to map these 3 special ones, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees, and their multiples. So 60 times 2 is 120. We're here. 45 times 5 is 225. So we're here. All of these have something to do with 30, 45, and 60. However, we also care about the quadrantals, which we just learned about. That's 0, 90, right? 180, 270, and so on. So all of these guys, that's this. So these are the quadrantals, okay? And then if you look at these are all some multiple of this. All of these are some multiple, and you could draw a triangle in one of these spots that would have this in it. So we are going to try to find the exact values of some of these, but it says to complete the unit circle reference. So basically, what I'll have you do is, I think it's the last page, you have this unit circle reference, okay? And this will be something that you'll do for homework. There's different ways to write it in. Why don't you do it in pencil when you do it? You're just copying it in. You can find this online pretty easily. So you're just going to try to find it. You can use this. So you're going to try to fill in all of these values. It's fine to copy it, or it's also fine to slowly draw triangles and figure out what these things are. Okay? This is kind of critical. Do it in pencil in case you have a mistake, and we'll kind of check it together. But once you have that, you can then just use it to fill these in. But if you don't have it, how would you even do it? Okay? Because you're not always going to have it. So let's say sine of 135. So we draw it. We did it on the other page. We'd go all the way to 180. We'd go back 45. We'd be here. And we'd have this triangle, which is -1, 1, and root 2. So the sine of that is going to be 1 over root 2, which is root 2 over 2. Okay? That's kind of what's happening here. I think that's probably enough for today. I'm going to stop the video, and then I'm going to talk to my class here. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you smash that like button. and subscribe. We're working towards 300 subscribers here. We're excited about that here at MrBasseri.com. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.